All right, one more, and then we're going to take a break. You know, we did some change theory training back in the summer, and then we did some more during the school year on change. And one of the things we talked about is communicating by a factor of 10. You may remember John Cotter's change model and some other change theorists we looked at. But over-communicating by a factor of 10 is something that we need to do at both the school and the district level. Now, I know a lot has been made of it, but one of the things I think has been a good sign is that if you were to go around the district and ask people, just people in the stores or anywhere, what is the district working on? What's going on in the district? Almost everybody, or most people would say they're working on effective principals, effective teachers. You know, improving instruction. One of those three, or some combination of that, is what they'll say. If you're in your 3 feeder patterns around Lincoln, Madison, and Kingston, you might hear Magic 2020. One of the things that you can tell that there's been actually a fair amount of communication is because there's a lot of noise around it. There's a lot of noise and a lot of discussion, and I think it's healthy discussion. All the editorials and all the talk about effective principles. That has been everywhere in the city. And I can't escape it anywhere I go, whether it's a movie theater, or the restaurant, or just getting my hair cut. It's the same thing. People come up to me and talk to me about it. Almost always positive. The people who are negative just come to the board meetings. Almost everywhere, I'm not kidding, almost everywhere positive. So it's not that we're not communicating, it's just that sometimes some people don't like what they're hearing. You know? So that's a sign that there's a lot of dialogue back and forth in small groups and salons about what's going on. That means that people are actually engaged in the debate, and that's good. So to have a lot of people discussing it, even some people who are angry about it, is not necessarily a bad sign. If this leadership team came in here and did nothing, just did the status quo, didn't communicate much, but just kept things going as they had been going, you probably wouldn't hear a lot of noise, you wouldn't hear a lot of anger, but it doesn't mean that they're communicating any better. That we would be communicating any better if we didn't do anything, right? But when you're doing something and you're doing some change, you're going to have to communicate more, and you've got to expect a certain amount of noise. So we did a lot of communicating, and we, I think, did a pretty good job of expanding the understanding of core beliefs. We've got a lot of community partners involved, lessons learned. We need to continue to do achievement measures, and then we need to enlist other communicators within the district. I mean, we did a lot of communicating, but we need to involve more partners in communicating the same message. So next steps, we have a strategic communications plan, and then we're going to reorganize both communications and some other departments for greater efficiency. So that's our next steps on communications. So last one, I'll give you about 30 seconds. Talk to your neighbor about overall communications, circle a bullet, and then I'll close this session. central, so you can look at it when you get a chance. Because I want to get you a break and into your breakout sessions, but before that, you have an opportunity to ask me questions about anything that happened this year, rumor control, or just curiosities, or that might happen next year. So we'll take about 10 minutes. So who has the first question? No questions? No rumors? Who would like to start a rumor? Let's take that. Let's start some rumors here. Our principal's getting a raise. Yes. Yes, principals are getting a raise. The rumor she wants to start is that principals are getting a 5% raise. If that helps you come back next year, okay, fine. No, it's 2%. 2. But remember, we're going to have good discussions in the fall around what that strategic compensation plan should look like for principals. Right? So the salary schedule is going to change altogether. Yeah. Yeah, so the question is, can I talk a little bit about the teacher evaluation system with regard to how it will affect teachers in 2014-2015 school year? So next year, everybody will still be on PDOS. Next year, 2013-2014, PDOS. You will, do your thing, evaluate well, use spot observations and all that. We will be piloting on top of that, or beta testing is a better word, in the strategic feeder patterns, the performance rubric part of the system, and we'll be collecting data on the achievement part. The teachers will still be PDOS evaluated. Okay, so they don't have to fret that it's different than everybody else. But we'll be collecting data on the beta testing for certain feeder patterns. So that's next year. 2014, 2015, how are the teachers giving input? How will they find out about it? All of this, there's a communications plan that's already started actually, that will run through December and then past December. December is when we're going to bring it to the Board of Education. But Monday, in this very room, we had about 250, 300 teachers who were contributing to the achievement templates, the pie charts around their achievement metrics. In other words, what does it mean to measure the achievement of a social studies teacher in high school? How will we measure their achievement scores? Elementary, how do we measure, what does it mean? Academic achievement for elementary, what does that mean? For middle school math, and middle school language arts. And we had 300 teachers in various rooms. First they had a discussion here, and then they went to breakout rooms and each grouped 7th grade math teachers, language arts teachers, etc., so that they could give some input. And there have been focus groups for the last, 3-4 months on the, actually more than that. For the last 2 years has been a focus group, but we've accelerated that input in the last 3 or 4 months from teachers. So there's going to be a lot more communication that will happen starting in August. For teachers, there'll be more group discussions. Groups like this will get together and we'll talk about the teacher evaluation system. And we'll make sure, in fact, if you have the agenda for later on the summer, we'll spend a half day just talking about teacher evals and how and the plan to measure teacher effectiveness. Good question. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, so one of the things that's not, I probably didn't cover is how we're going to expand leadership density. Now, parts at the district level, but a lot of it has to we're relying on you to expand your own leadership density in your schools. In fact, that's one of the survey questions for you. You don't have to turn those in, but I want you to reflect on that. How are you expanding leadership density? We are not going to have the SIL teams. You'll have your instructional coaches. You'll have your own leadership team that you put together. If you want to keep a SIL team, that's fine. You're just not going to get a stipend at the district level for it. The question is, what leadership team do you want to put together for your school? And that becomes your SIL team, and it becomes your instructional leadership, your leadership team. Part of that's based on whatever you want to do. You know, when I was a principal, my counselors were part of my leadership team. Other people may not want their counselor on their leadership team. I only had one reading coach. I didn't have an instruction coach, but I had a reading coach. I also put on my leadership team, and the assistant principals, of course. So you're free to build the leadership density that you need. We are going to help in that we're going to have assistant principal leadership academies, we're going to have principal leadership academies, and we're going to have teacher leadership academies. And those are not to grow in skills, those are to grow in leadership density. And there's only so much that this district can do because it's such a large district, and we can only have so much academies, we only have so much money. So we're going to have to ask you to also grow the leadership density in your schools. Good question. Other questions about anything?
Mr. Miles, last week you discussed about the district being for tutoring. Can you tell us what that's going to look like for our teachers so that we can finally make plans for tutoring plans for next week?
I'm going to turn the mic over to Dr. Rayner.
Actually, the assistant superintendents and I worked on a tutoring handbook that is going to give you all the specifics of who, what, where, when, and how, the number of teachers that are allocated, the kind of the framework of the number of days, etc. And so that literally is in draft form. We just need to clean it up a little bit, and hopefully you'll have it before you leave for the, by next week. It literally is almost there. And it'll answer all your questions for you.
Okay, good. Other questions?
What will the stipend for bilingual teachers be?
We are going to bring the stipend to bilingual teachers up to $3,000, which is the area median. We had to use some figure, and that's the area. It's not the most that's being paid, it's not the least being paid, but it's the median in the North Texas area. Yes, this school year coming up. Now, the caveat is the board hasn't passed the budget, and that's on Thursday. So I can't really say. That's what we proposed.
Are there plans for a stipend for ESL teachers?
Yeah, most of them are bilingual, so those stipends will be. Oh, for ES, I'm being told no. So no. Are there any questions? Just bilingual elementary. Any other questions? Well, you guys seem like you might be ready for the school year already. Nope, we got another question. Go ahead. What kind of training will there be for instructional coaches at each campus? What we're going to do to help is there's a week in August, starts the second week of August. Second week of August, all the instructional coaches and the assistant principals are required to go through a week of training that school leadership will run. That will get them on the same page so that they're they're giving you the same information school leadership is giving you and I'm giving you, and so everybody's on the same page. And then I don't know, any other plans for their training during the year? They'll be with the assistant principals? So once a month, the instructional principal will receive training with the academic facilitators that's run by school leadership. The assistant principals will be with me or Dr. Rayner once a month also, and we may allow instructional coaches to attend those trainings as well. And principals, you'll also have a once a month training with me, just like you had last year. What day? I think it's the same day. If it's the second month, I think it's the second Wednesday of the month. Yes?
I know that we have training days before our break and training days after our break, and several principals are in the process of planning professional development for the start of school even before we leave for break. So my question is, how soon will we get all the information that we'll have to relay to teachers during these training days? Will it happen mostly before the break or just after the break so that we can effectively plan that professional development for teachers?
You'll get that next week. I mean, I already have it, so I know they're just tweaking it, and they'll send it to you next week. Monday? Tuesday next week. A little negotiating here. Okay. Tuesday next week. Just so you can start planning. Good. Any last question? Who's the last question? All right, great. So don't go yet. I'm going to release you to the breakout sessions. You'll have about 10 minutes for a break, rest break, and then you go to your breakout sessions. At the breakout sessions, you'll be looking, again, reflecting on the year, but you'll be looking at school level questions, and you should have that document with you. So be in your breakout rooms at about 9:45. And